ต่อไปนี้ผมก็จะขอเรียนเชิญนะฮะพระท่านเอกอัครราชทูตของประเทศอินเดียนะท่านสุจิตราไตร May I request Madam Suchita Rai to please come to the podium and say a few words. Thank you very much indeed.
Shri Satit Kumar, President of the Ramakrishna Vedanta Association of Thailand, Shri Praveen Mukherjee, Secretary, and other office bearers, Venerable Dhamananda Bhikkhuni, Venerable Pra Mahasompong, His Excellency Dr. Terakiyat Jaron Setasen, of course Dr. Chirapat Prapandavidya Padma Shri, and Dr. Suvit Vibhu Shresht, all other distinguished persons here, Professor Amarji Valochan, I see, and of course, all ladies and gentlemen. It is really a very blessed day, as has been mentioned. We are celebrating several very important days today. So may I take this moment to wish all of you on the very happy occasion of Gudi Padwa, Yugadi, and also the Namla Varsh, which we are celebrating today. This book, which was compiled originally by Swami Chetanananda, Sri Ramakrishna, as we saw him, is an invaluable collection of experiences, anecdotes, reminiscences by those who knew Sri Ramakrishna Paramhamsa very, very closely. Disciples, relatives, admirers of this great spiritual master. And it is a spiritual treasure, which we are very happy that the Ramakrishna Vedanta Association has actually got it translated into Thai language. As has been said before, which came out very clearly through the film which was played also, Sri Ramakrishna Paramhamsa, by virtue of his life, embodied the truth that God manifests himself in all of us. All paths are equal in the way that they lead to the ultimate truth. So while the social, religious, and the intellectual frames of reference of Sri Ramakrishna's thoughts were Indian, their essence is in fact universal, and therefore the appeal is to every one of us. While language is incapable of communicating completely the mystic experiences and teachings of a great soul, the parables and the illustrations that Sri Ramakrishna used made it simple for ordinary people to understand the universal message of Vedanta. His appeal increased by his recourse to various religious practices, including Vaishnava Shakta, Tantric, Christian, and Islamic forms of worship, and concluding from them that there are as many paths to God as there are faiths. As was mentioned also by Mr. Satit Kumar, Ekam Sat Bahuda Vadanti. So this is what we learn from our own heritage, that all paths to the ultimate reality are equal. So Sri Ramakrishna, the spiritual giant of Dakshineshwar, he came at a time when people were in a spiritual crisis. And his influence, in fact, energized not only the field of religion, but also the field of arts, literature, and politics. And there were many people who were inspired by his teachings. Of course, we know of Swami Vivekananda, who actually established the Ramakrishna mission, but also there were others, including Sri Aurobindo, Sister Nivedita, Netaji, and several other freedom fighters. Sri Ramakrishna trained his disciples in such a way that they could carry on with his mission. His message to the modern world was, do not care for doctrines, do not care for dogmas or sects or churches or temples. They count for little compared with the essence of existence in each man, which is spirituality. So he is now regarded as a symbol of India's reawakening, particularly in the contemporary era. Although one and a half centuries have passed since his passing away, his message has even greater relevance in the present world. And his main message, of course, was that service to poor is indeed service to God, and Jiva is Shiva. So God's realization is the ultimate goal of life. And when we do this, we also achieve harmony among all beings. So I think the message of Thakur, as Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was known, is extremely relevant in the current world, where there are so many divisions, where there is so much of violence in the world. If we take away even a small message from reading the book, I think it will go a long way to bring peace in the world and also succor to the many millions of people who are suffering due to want, due to poverty, due to just the pain and suffering of normal everyday life. I think Dr. Sovit, what he has done is indeed a tremendous achievement. Since I came here, I think this is the second book I see which has been launched, which has been translated by him. Earlier during Honorable Prime Minister's visit here in 2019, Prime Minister had launched the Thai version also of Tirukkural, which was translated by Dr. Sovit, which is a classic and again of universal relevance. So I'm really honored to be here and feel very blessed to be here when this book is launched. And I would like to congratulate the Ramakrishna Vedanta Association of Thailand for the good work that you're doing in propagating this message, and also for the great philanthropic work that you're very quietly doing and helping all humanity, particularly during this COVID-19 period. Thank you very much. Kapil.